The Ten Commandments wasn't just a movie. It was an event that shook cinema forever. A grand tale of faith and liberation brought to life with fire, pain, and sacrifice. Behind the glorious scenes of Moses parting the Red Sea or Pharaoh commanding armies, there were real people enduring agony, fear, and exhaustion in the name of cinematic immortality. From a father nearly losing his son on set to actors scarred by contact lenses that burned their eyes, this film was a triumph built on human suffering. These are the 10 haunting regrets that followed the cast and crew long after the cameras stopped rolling. During the filming on the Nile, Charlton Heston's infant son Fraser played baby Moses in the iconic basket scene. But when the basket began to sink, panic struck the set. Heston dove into the water to save his son, clutching him to his chest as the crew froze in terror. From that day, he could never watch that scene again, calling it a moment when his faith and fear collided in real life. Then there was Yul Brynner, the proud pharaoh who battled an invisible enemy, his own height. Standing at just 5'10", he constantly fought to appear equal beside Heston's towering presence. Sets were altered, floors tilted and boxes stacked, all so the mighty pharaoh wouldn't seem small. Off-camera, Brynner spent hours training his body, determined to make his muscles as commanding as his crown. But inside, he was consumed by insecurity, forever haunted by the feeling of being lesser than the man playing Moses. Meanwhile, actor John Derek, who portrayed Joshua, faced the brutal desert conditions that nearly broke him. Director Cecil B. DeMille, obsessed with realism, demanded that the Exodus scenes be shot under the burning sun, with 25,000 extras, 15,000 animals, and no artificial effects. The cast endured 122-degree heat, collapsing under the weight of perfection. When a real sandstorm struck, DeMille screamed, "Keep rolling!" calling it divine intervention. Derek later said he didn't know if he was still acting or simply fighting to survive. His body covered in dust, his mind blurred by heat. For DeMille himself, the cost was nearly fatal. At 75, he was the god of Hollywood, but even gods can fall. Climbing a massive set piece to fix a camera, he was struck by a heart attack and almost fell to his death. Doctors ordered rest, yet 2 days later he returned to the set, directing from a chair with a bullhorn in his hand, refusing to yield. Actress Anne Baxter, who played Nefertiti, suffered a quieter torment. Before filming began, she spent 8 months trapped in costume fittings for gowns that weighed as much as armor. DeMille instructed her to act like a statue, silent, graceful, lifeless. Every movement was rehearsed, every blink timed. Under the hot lights, she could barely breathe, her beauty turning into a prison of gold. In her diary, she wrote that she no longer felt like a woman, only a puppet made to look divine. Her suffering deepened when DeMille forced her to perform an intimate scene with Charlton Heston, pushing the limits of her comfort to create a moment of forbidden passion. Though the world praised her performance, Baxter later said she felt stripped of her soul, her faith shaken by what she was asked to portray. Then came the actors tortured by DeMille's obsession with Egyptian eyes. He decreed that every Egyptian must have brown eyes, forcing Nina Foch, John Derek, and others to wear painful hard plastic contact lenses that burned their eyes under the searing lights. Deborah Paget recalled trying not to cry during scenes because the tears made the lenses cut deeper. Only Yvonne DiCarlo was spared when her lens shattered mid-scene, nearly blinding her. DeMille finally allowed her to keep her real green eyes. She later joked bitterly that at least she could still see her way home. Yet her story turned tragic too. On set, she met stuntman Bob Morgan, fell in love, and married him after filming. Years later, a train accident left him gravely injured, and she gave up her career to care for him until his death. She once said that the 10 Commandments gave her both love and heartbreak, proving that miracles often come with pain. For actor Edward G. Robinson, the pain was moral. Cast as Dathan, the betrayer, Robinson was living a real-life betrayal, blacklisted during the Hollywood communist witch hunts. Taking DeMille's offer meant turning his back on friends who had supported him. And though the role redeemed his career, it left him filled with guilt he carried to his grave. Finally, the forgotten ones, the extras and background actors who toiled under the same brutal heat, who fainted, bled, and prayed, only to be cut from the final version after 14 months of editing. Many sat in theaters at the premiere waiting to see themselves, only to realize they had been erased completely. Their sweat and suffering became invisible, their names lost to time, yet their pain helped build one of cinema's greatest miracles. When The Ten Commandments premiered in 1956, audiences saw glory, faith, and divine power. But behind every shining frame was a cost. It was not just a story of God and miracles, but of humans pushed beyond their limits to bring heaven to earth. Every drop of sweat, every burned eye, every broken heart became part of the film's soul. That is why The Ten Commandments endures. It is not just immortal art, but a monument to human sacrifice in the name of creation. If you believe that even light comes at a price, let us know which moment or story haunted you the most. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin for more untold stories from behind the golden curtain of old Hollywood